Hey guys, this is Jack, and it's finally time. It's time for the Oscar predictions. The final one, as the ceremony is going to happen next week, and I think it's a perfect time to kind of like talk about some of the stuff that I've been changing with my predictions, what has been happening for the past couple weeks, and just also some unwinding things that I need to kind of explain with my reasonings for some of these picks for my predictions. I'm not going to go into all the categories because I don't have time. I'm going through a lot of stuff, and I think it's a perfect time just to do all the above the line categories and some, exceptions like international feature, documentary feature, and animated feature. I think that's a really good compromise in my mind. If you're angry at me, yeah, listen, I don't have much time, so I'm just gonna do my own thing. But if you want to hear my other predictions and takes and whatever, you can, follow me on the Awards Expert app. I will leave a link on the description below and also on the screen with my profile page for Awards Expert app. But yeah, let's kind of dive into this before my battery overheats and I start to kind of crash out. But yeah, let's get it, man. Okay, so I'm starting with animated feature. First things first, easiest category that you can probably predict here. K-pop Demon Hunters is going to win. I don't see anything winning here, not even Zootopia 2, which I think would have won if K-pop Demon Hunters never existed. I would also say Little Amelie to a greater extent. But the last two, Arco and Elio, good luck. If it does pull off, that would be hilarious. The K-pop stans will be going on Twitter and starting some shit if that happens, but I don't see that happening. We move on to the next category here, which is documentary feature. A lot of people are putting The Perfect Neighbor at number one for their pick to win here, and honestly, I agree, but keep in mind, if I remember correctly, the BAFTA gave Mr. Nobody Against Putin the win over there. So there could be a good chance that we're overthinking this, and it might actually be just the Putin bad documentary. But also keep in mind that even if they don't like The Perfect Neighbor or Mr. Nobody, the documentary branch, they could actually pick the Alabama Solution as a really good pick to kind of counterpoint these other two picks that I just mentioned because of just the way the film is directed and how it's very timely with the current events that are happening right now in America. But honestly, I still think The Perfect Neighbor is just a really good choice here. I don't really see it fully losing unless something bad happens. And then we'll move on to the next category here, which is international feature. So with international feature, I have sentimental value at number one. I'm playing it safe here as I think even then with The Secret Agent surging over the past couple of months, especially it winning the Golden Globe for international feature and then also Best Actor in a Drama for Wagner Moura, I just don't know. It's kind of weird because I'm looking at this in a way where I think sentimental value, it's nominated for a lot of other Oscars in this ceremony. And when you kind of look at that, you kind of go okay, yeah, if it's nominated everywhere else, and it's also nominated in international feature, then you have to pick that specific movie in international feature. But this isn't not last year with Emilia Perez versus I'm Still Here, where I'm Still Here began to surge after the crash of Emilia Perez, the marketing, the social media reactions, and just everything around that movie. I don't really see this happening to The Secret Agent, where The Secret Agent is so well beloved to the point where it just overtakes everybody internationally. But I do think the counterpoint is that it did win the Cannes Film Festival prizes over there. So you could really see it being a thing where it's just okay, yeah, a lot of the international voters who attended Cannes, who actually praised The Secret Agent during that time, can continue to praise it here and give it its love here in this category. But I just don't know. I think playing it safe is a really good thing for this category, and I'm still going to do sentimental value just because of that. But I'm keeping my eyes out for The Secret Agent. I'm also keeping my eyes out for It Was Just an Accident. I don't really see it happening, but it would be nice. It would be really nice. And Surat and the voice of Hind Rajab are just happy to be here. Sorry for all the stuttering, but let's kind of move on to the next category here, which is casting. Now, with casting, I think this is actually another really simple category because I'm taking into account the SAG Ensemble win for Sinners. And when you kind of correlate that, you could see Sinners taking this award, mainly because it is the second place or potentially the first place order for Best Picture. And I think it would be really nice for Sinners to win here, and then other categories, and then other than, that, and then One Battle After Another taking Best Picture, which we'll explain a bit later. But I'm just seeing it that way, and I think it's a really good kind of take on this category. Although I do think The Secret Agent might actually win here because of the fact how Neon is marketing the entire cast of The Secret Agent. They actually got this nomination because of the marketing and all the love that the Brazilian community has done to the movie, and it's just so nice to have The Secret Agent here nominated. Same with like Marty Supreme, which has a lot of non-actors and actors who aren't really traditional in the traditional sense or in the ensemble cast. Hamnet is another one where it's meticulously crafted with its casting. But I'm going to keep Sinners at number 1 here. And yeah, I think that's basically it. Let's kind of like move on to the screenplay categories here, starting with adapted screenplay. Now, with adapted screenplay, like, this is a no-brainer, and you don't really need to like think. It's One Battle After Another by Paul Thomas Anderson. He's taking it. He's taking the screenplay award over Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. It's just a thing. It's been happening for a long time. Paul Thomas Anderson has been sweeping in this category for a lot of other ceremonies. So yeah, like it's a no-brainer. And I would say the same thing for original screenplay, which will go to Ryan Coogler for Sinners. Like there's nothing else to really go against. Earlier in the season, we could have, said Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value taking this prize away from Ryan Coogler, but there was no evidence or anything happening with Sentimental Value in the original screenplay category in any of the ceremonies, and we're just continuing to see, Paul Thomas Anderson and Ryan Coogler just taking these awards from the screenplay category. So, I mean, that's basically it. You don't really need to say anything else. Again, it would have been nice to see Jafar Panahi take some prizes in some ceremonies for original screenplay, but it just never happened, and it was really sad because I think Jafar Panahi, his screenplay for It Was Just an Accident was just so powerful and just very deliberate with its choices, with all the characters that they are going through a lot of the pain in the movie. But yeah, like, I just don't see it happening here. It would be crazy to just go into Oscar night and Jafar Panahi wins original screenplay. That would be insane. I would like cheer, honestly, but there's no evidence, unfortunately. But those are just like the screenplay categories. We move on to the best categories here, which are the acting categories. And this is where, ooh boy, we're going to have some fun. So we move on to the supporting actor category, starting with my number 1 pick, which is Sean Penn for One Battle After Another. Earlier in the season, we thought he would be sweeping, but it started out to kind of be completely all over the place. We saw some prizes going towards Benicio del Toro. We saw some prizes going to Stellan Skarsgård earlier in the season. And then Sean Penn just started to win everywhere else, including the BAFTA, where he wasn't there. He just had like his picture on the screen. But it seems like now the trend is moving towards Sean Penn for this film, and it makes total sense because he is the backbone of One Battle After Another, and his performance is very showy, and he's doing a lot, even though it is kind of almost one-dimensional with just the way the character's portrayed. But even then, that one dimension is just extravagant and crazy, and it's a Sean Penn performance that maybe you've never seen before, and I think that's why a lot of the voters in the Academy are really attached to this performance over Stellan Skarsgård, who should win for Sentimental Value, in my personal opinion. That's why I have him at number 2. I think the reason why he's probably not winning here is because I think Sentimental Value, the momentum has fallen off a little bit as far as just chatter. People are still talking about it like as one of the best movies of last year, but I just don't really see a lot of people putting it at their number, 1, 2, or 3 placements. And you could kind of, say the same thing with Benicio del Toro, who won earlier this season with a lot of the critics' prizes, but then once the televised events started to happen, it started out with Stellan Skarsgård and then eventually trended to Sean Penn. And yeah, like, I just don't know. Same with like Jacob Elordi, who won the Critics' Choice Award earlier in the season. We thought, oh shit, maybe he could actually take it, and never happened. But he did get the Oscar nomination though, which was really nice. Delroy Lindo, whoo, okay, listen, honestly, I think the thing is, like, if Sinners is like really overperforming during the night, and actually I think this is like the first category I usually go to, like supporting actor in the night, but if we take into account we're watching the ceremony, first category is supporting actor, and it goes to Delroy Lindo, like, we know for a fact Sinners is probably going to do really fucking well during the entire night. You can kind of like tell from like that if Delroy Lindo wins here. I'm honestly rooting for him. He should be actually winning over Sean Penn, personally, in my opinion, because I think he does everything he does in Sinners for a matter of like, I think 10 or 15 minutes, and then the rest of the movie, yeah, he's kind of like the background character, but you still really feel for his character and his motivations throughout the film. But also, I'm thinking about the Marsha Gay Harden win, where Marsha, she, I think, wasn't nominated everywhere. She got the Oscar nomination and won just alone for the Oscar. And I think Delroy Lindo could actually pull that off if, you know, the Academy really loves Sinners. That would actually break the stat again for this category and just the Oscars in general. And I'm just waiting for something to break. And I think Delroy Lindo could be the one that could break a stat this season. So for now, I'm keeping Sean Penn at number 1, but I'm looking out for Delroy Lindo. We move on to the next category here, which is supporting actress. Oh boy, okay, yeah. So best supporting actress, this is the first category where I'm just like, what the fuck do I do? I could go all guts, no glory with this category and go super, you know, crazy with it. And you know what? I might actually just do that because I think I gotta like do something crazy, mainly because I'm just a crazy person. But I'm going with Amy Madigan for Weapons. She won the SAG Award just last week, which was super nice and just really like dope to see. And I know like Weapons, the film itself, this is the only nomination that it got. And Amy Madigan is the anchor of the entire movie. But honestly, for me, like the way I'm looking at it is just how Wumi Masaku won the BAFTA. Her like surge started to really pick up later into the season, while Amy Madigan, immediately from the start, people were just like, yeah, let's actually give her the nomination for this film and maybe give her the win because she's been in the industry for a really long time. And the performance itself is very transformative and it's doing a lot. And yeah, like the movie itself, you get to a certain point in the film, you don't know where Amy Madigan is. She shows up and she just steals the entire movie from everybody else in the film. But the way I'm looking at it is just, it's either, you know, you take the SAG win for Amy Madigan or you take the Wumi Masaku win for Sinners at the BAFTAs, and you kind of have to look into, you know, the intricacies of this category as you're looking at it, and you're just like, okay, well, Wumi Masaku is in a movie where it could potentially win Best Picture, so let's actually, you know, predict that. But I don't know. I really don't know. I think I'm going to keep Amy Madigan at number 1. I'm going to ask for some help with this with some other people who are predicting here in the awards expert app. The community says Amy Madigan at number 1. A lot of people are throwing Amy Madigan at number 1 from the people I've been following. But I don't know, like, I still think Wumi Masaku could actually take it. So I'm keeping Amy Madigan at number 1, Wumi Masaku at number 2, Tiana Taylor at number 3, because she did one earlier in the season, but her chances started to fade a little bit, and I think it's probably because of the fact that the character is kind of very vigilant and only appears in the first 15 minutes of the movie and just disappears, but she still has like an impact with the entire movie at hand. But even then, I just have to keep Tiana Taylor at number 3. I'm keeping my eyes on her. She could actually take it up. But Inga and Ellie for Sentimental Value, it's so sad. Inga should have been, you know, the one to actually win here. She gave one of the best performances of the year, hands down. But yeah, like, I don't know, man. It's just not going to happen. But yeah, man, I'm keeping Amy at number 1. Let's move on to the next category here, which is actor, which is another crazy category, man. Son, what are we doing here? Best actor. The category is fucked, man. Okay, listen. So I'm looking at like the SAG win from last week for Michael B. Jordan. I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at the the win, and I'm seeing Sinners take Ensemble at SAG, and I'm thinking this is clearly the number 2 film this season, and a lot of people just love Sinners. Like the talk from like the Academy to the people on social media to just general public people who have only seen this film really enjoy it. While I do think Reddit has a bias against this movie, I've seen a lot of crazy articles about, oh yeah, this movie is just overhyped and whatnot, and yeah, you could see that it's overhyped, it's overmarketed, blah 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 blah. But I think with like Michael B. Jordan being an actor who has been in the industry for a really long time, who has given a lot of great performances, who have been in big blockbuster films, has been in films that lifted up a lot of black auteurs and directors and actors, and has just been very likable throughout this whole entire season, along with the movie being the second place winner for Best Picture, potentially maybe number 1. You look into all those factors, you look into all those equations, and you just come out with Michael B. Jordan taking the Oscar over Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme, which, okay, listen, earlier in the season, I was rooting for Timothée Chalamet to sweep and take all the awards for Best Actor in every ceremony, guild, critics' prizes, et cetera, et cetera. But the way I'm looking at it, I'm looking at a few things. One, Marty Supreme, the movie itself, it's nominated here. There's a lot of nominations for Marty Supreme, but it's not the strongest film compared to Sinners or One Battle After Another. It's a clear number 4 next to Hamnet, which Hamnet has done pretty well throughout the season, winning some stuff. Also, what I'm looking at is the downfall of Timothée Chalamet's advertising campaign for Marty Supreme, and just the whole campaign of him going out to these interviews and just going all around the block to prove a point that he deserves this Oscar, and now upsetting a lot of demographics, including the black community, for just acting out, black with the persona of Marty Supreme and acting like he earned, the award for this performance, even though, it's shown on screen that he does earn, the attention and love and accolades for the film. But I think it's just the cockiness and just the way Timothy is putting himself out there is what really is biting everybody in the ass, and including him. So when Michael B. Jordan won the SAG Award just last week for Sinners, I thought to myself, yeah, I think this is now a pure matchup between Michael B. Jordan and Timothée Chalamet and other 3 actors who could actually be also in contention, because honestly, this whole entire category is just completely fucked, man. And for all good reasons, because I just love chaos. Like, usually we have like 1 or 2 categories in a year where it's just pure chaos. We just don't know what's going to happen, and maybe we're just overthinking it. We're just going like, oh, we're putting all these equations together, and then the equation and the outcome of it all just comes to a really simple win to an actor that you probably already knew from the get-go. Like last year with like Demi Moore versus Mikey Madison. Mikey Madison taking the BAFTA over Demi Moore, and the BAFTA has more of a weight over the SAG in a lot of years. And we were thinking, well, I mean, at least Demi Moore could still take it because she's an older actress. She's been in the industry for a really long time, blah, 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 blah. And then Mikey Madison just won Best Actress for the Oscar because the movie itself was going to win Best Picture. And yeah, like, I think it's just the way I'm looking at it. I think Michael B. Jordan, it's his time. It's definitely his time. And there's a lot of other great performances and factors that you can take into account for these other actors who are nominated here, like Wagner Moore for The Secret Agent. Listen, I think honestly, if all else fails, this is like a ranked choice voting thing that they use for the Academy. If something happens where there's not a lot of votes for Michael B. Jordan or Timothée Chalamet, which would be kind of crazy, but if potentially something happens where both of these actors, Michael B. Jordan and Timothée Chalamet, aren't being ranked high enough, Wagner Moore could actually take the Oscar over these 2 people. mainly because of the fact that it's probably the most strongest international film next to Sentimental Value. Again, going back to the points of it winning a lot of prizes throughout the season, winning the Cannes Awards back early in the year, and then just also in general, I think Fognemore is putting his ass out there in interviews and just a lot of places, and I think it's definitely time to really look into that. Ethan Hawke as well could actually potentially steal the award from all of these other actors because of just the industry love Ethan Hawke has, brought to his Aurora for the past couple years of his entire career. And yeah, I could see that. And I could see Leonardo DiCaprio also taking the prize here if all else fails. But yeah, man, I'm just going to, keep it real with you guys. I think Michael B. Jordan could actually just take it away from Timothée Chalamet just because of that SAG win last week. And his speech was great, so he has a lot of visibility, and it was just smack in the middle of the voting period before it closed just last Thursday. So yeah, man, I'm down for a Michael B. Jordan win. And sure, I understand people are kind of debating about the performance itself, it being a dual performance, it being a showy performance, but also a performance that might not be attached to some people with the movie itself. But honestly, for me, I watched it again a couple weeks ago, and his performance in that film is just fucking fantastic. And you can tell right away he put a lot of work and thought into the two characters that he plays in the movie. But yeah, I'm doing Michael B. Jordan. I'm doing it. I'm fucking doing it. You move on to the next category here, which is Best Actress. We move on to the next category here, which is Best Actress. Now we move on to Best Actress, which, first of all, I gotta say hi to my kitty because I heard Jessie Buckley be talking shit about some cats. It seems like she doesn't like cats for some reason. I don't know why, but I love my cat. My cat's really, really nice. He's kind of sleepy right now. I think I gotta put him back to sleep or feed him a little bit because he's just a little bit, tired. But yeah, man, listen, I think Jessie Buckley, she's going to win. It's basically it. You don't really need to go super deep into it. I think Rose Byrne, in another year, she would have been a person to win Best Actress. I think especially last year, it would have been a really nice matchup to see Demi Moore versus Rose Byrne versus Mikey Madison. But yeah, this year, I don't really see it. It's going to be Jessie Buckley all the way. That's just the love of the game. And if my cat says yes, hey, do you wanna say something? No? He doesn't want to say something, but I bless Jessie Buckley here, and if that doesn't happen, then my cat curses Jessie Buckley. But we kind of have to move on here to the next category here, which is Best Director. So next up, I have Best Director, PTA. That's it. It's literally it. It would be crazy to see Ryan Coogler take it, but I just don't really see anything else. It's just, PTA's been winning everywhere. There's no arguments against him, so why not? You gotta, pick him here. And finally, with Best Picture, yeah, I'm going for One Battle After Another. It's been winning everywhere. It just won PGA. If a SAG Ensemble went to Sinners, that could actually happen if something weird happens during the night where somebody reads the card and they say Sinners, and it's Sinners all along. But I don't know. I just don't really see that happening with probability-wise. But maybe in tuition, if we kind of think a little bit, it could actually potentially happen. But yeah, man, that's basically it. I don't really have anything else to add with the last couple of categories because these last categories are just pretty simple to predict. So yeah, that's it. That's basically it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. My camera is overheating, and yeah, you can follow me on the socials. I might do the reactions for the Oscars. I don't know, maybe. We'll see. Thank you guys. Bye.